Good evening. This is our big night, and it seems perfect that it's situated the day after Veterans Day, when we remember all those men and women in the armed services that did everything that they've done to preserve everything we get to do here in this country. It's also 2 days before probably one of the most harrowing evenings in the history of the San Francisco Police Department that took place on November 13th, 1994, where we actually lost Officer Jim Gelf in a protracted firefight with a desperate Victor Lee Boutwell, where hundreds of rounds of ammunition were traded. And after the vote that I'll describe in a minute, several officers at that scene received Medals of Valor for not going away when they could have, and Officer Gelf actually received a gold medal posthumously for his actions on the night of November 13th, 1994. Johnny mentioned Maria Oropeza and the actions that she took helping the lady at our office this week. She will not get a medal for that. That's her job. And I don't say that to be funny, but I'm just trying to demonstrate some range here. At the World Series afterwards, pretty much every police officer in the city worked, and across town. We took a lot of stuff, a lot of conversation, a lot of bottles were thrown. Officers stood their ground to make sure that citizens didn't get harmed and property didn't get damaged. Nobody's going to get a medal for that, although it wasn't fun. That's our job. And so far this year, San Francisco police officers have taken about 900 plus guns off the streets of San Francisco. Obviously, that's a dangerous time when you take a firearm from somebody, but we're probably at an all-time low for homicides this year in the city because there's 900 less guns on the street, and those officers won't get medals for that. These officers way past all those things that I just described. So if we could, I'll read how they got here, but I think to start with, they deserve another round of applause. So how do you get a medal, and how do you arrive here tonight? To get a Medal of Valor in the San Francisco Police Department, you have to meet one of these thresholds. I'll start with a Bronze Medal of Valor. The department's third highest award for Valor is the Bronze Medal of Valor. The member of the awards committee shall evaluate each objective, the risk, and the degree of danger, and determine by their vote whether a Silver or a Bronze Medal of Valor shall be granted. So if you don't make the threshold to get a Silver, which I'll read next, you would get a Bronze, and there are only 3 Medals of Valor. Silver Medal of Valor is the department's second highest award for valor and is merited only when the following elements exist. An officer manifests outstanding bravery in the performance of his or her duty under circumstances not within the provisions required for a Gold Medal of Valor, where the officer risks his or her life with full and unquestionable knowledge of the danger involved, or where a reasonable person would assume his or her life was in great danger, where the objective is of sufficient importance to justify the risk, and where the officer accomplished the objective or was prevented from accomplishing the objective by circumstances beyond his or her control. Silver medal's a big deal, bronze medal's a big deal, gold medal's the biggest deal. Department's highest award for valor is merited when the following elements exist: outstanding bravery above and beyond that expected in the line of duty, where failure to take such action would not justify censure, where risk of life actually exists and the officer had sufficient time to evaluate that risk and went forward anyway, where the objective is of sufficient importance to justify such a risk, and where the officer accomplished the objective or was prevented from accomplishing the objective only by incurring disabling injury or death. It's hard to get a gold medal. So the way you get a medal is you have to do something. That's a start. And then somebody has to think it's outside of what your job is. And you're going to hear from some of these officers who, when we interviewed them the day of the medals, many of them said they were just doing their job, which, when you hear these stories, that was more than that. At that point in time, if the captain, and these are them over here, and they take this very seriously, believe that they should make a recommendation that it be a Medal of Valor, they write it up, and it takes some time, and they send it to an awards committee, which is made up of 3 captains. Then those 3 captains vet all the requests made by the captains for a period of 6 months and decide which officers, and they actually separate officers out and move officers forward and ask follow-up questions. It's a very protracted process. It's sent forward to the full screening committee. In order to be in the room where these medals are actually considered and voted upon, only civil service captains, of which there are 31, and or a member of the command staff, sits in that room with 1 member of the police commission who's non-voting, and the police commission secretary, Inspector Monroe. The number of years of experience in this room exceeds 1,000, probably 2 or 3 times. There's a lot of experience in the room, a lot of different personalities. The men and women in that room, to say that it's an alpha group would be the understatement of all time. There are huge arguments. I'm sure there have been people that haven't spoken together after. Sometimes it ends. But it comes down to the voting, and we actually do it. It sounds kind of old, but we're a very traditional police department, 2nd oldest in the country. It's actually done with a wooden box that is from before the turn of the century that's full of marbles. And I know sometimes when the officers see how the voting comes out, they think we've lost our marbles. But we actually take it so seriously. And as you vote, these 40-some-odd very senior members of the police department, you have to get 2/3 of the voting members to get whatever medal you get. And then the marbles are then added back down again to arrive at wherever you get. So there's absolutely no way to rig this game. The process is protracted on purpose, and the medals are earned. So without further ado, let's get to the reading of some pretty incredible stories about some pretty incredible men and women. Thank you.